Hello there guys, Rackets96 here with you with another Nerf review. This one is on the roughcut 2x4. So the reason they call it a 2x4 is it is 2 barrels across and 4 down, letting you hold 8 elite darts in the front. It is a front loader, so let's go in the front. That's what front loader means. We'll go to the front and work our way back. First off, you have a nice iron sight up there in the front. And unfortunately, there's no iron sight in the back to look down, so great job, guys. You put in some effort there. Then down here is the priming handle. Kind of has this ledge back here you can kind of pull back on, or you can just keep your hand there and pretty much go all out. Moving back, there's nothing really going on down here on the bottom. Back up to the top, there's an Instrike tactical rail. You can put shields, optics, anything you really want, any Instrike attachment. They are completely compatible. I guess this would be your front sling mount. Up here on the top, down here you have a trigger, another spring trigger. You can't really mess a spring trigger up, so no complaints. Moving on down, there is the rear sling attachment, and of course the grip itself. And the grip on this is a little, you can see it's a little weird than most. Most conventional are this way. That's holding the gun straight. But for the rough cut, you have to slam it on an angle, which feels a little uncomfortable, which I do like the design and everything, but the uncomfortableness of holding this straight, if you're going to use it as, you know, as a secondary, as a handgun, you know, you kind of get a little uncomfortable. I've probably shot, from the time I've had it, 100, 150, maybe 200 rounds out of it, and my wrist just hurts just from slanting it like that. So if you're a big fan of the design and you like it, that's just my one thing. You know, it might start to bother you, but no complaints anywhere else. I mean, as far as a review, this has slam fire. For those of you that don't know, just remove the darts. Slam fire is the ability to basically rapid fire as if you had flywheels, but clearly you don't. Once you hold down the trigger here, and as soon as the priming handle hits the forward position, it fires. That is slam fire. You're slamming the prime handle forward. I mean, you could zip tie the trigger if you wanted slam fire only and just keep going. Now, that's pretty much the review. To load the gun, you take your darts and you just load them right in your barrels. So there's just those 3 in there. Now the smart thing about this gun is it has smart air restrictors. Now for those of you that don't know what smart air restrictors mean, is you don't have to put a dart in these first 2 barrels to fire it. You can put one just in the second barrel down on the right side, prime, and it's going to fire them anyway. So with that being said, you don't need to have your first barrel loaded. Say you have the first one and the first one on the right, my right, your left, and the bottom on your right, the prime, I think they're still there. It fires both of them at once. That is the benefit of, I guess, a 2x4. Now, the coolest feature on this gun is you have the ability to fire one at a time. Now, that is a 2-stage trigger, if you can hear it. There it is. So what that allows you to do is to fire one dart at a time. Or, it's just going to play games with me. Let's try that again. Okay, well, it does in fact work. You can fire one cylinder at a time. It is a very tricky trigger point. I mean, you can hear it. Very tricky. So pretty much, I would always you know, don't mess with your trigger. It will completely mess up your rate of fire. Instead of sitting there and trying just to shoot one at a time and conserve ammo, you can always just have a pocket full of elite darts. Or a dump pouch. Or really anything. I use pockets, personally. If I'm just carrying just empty elite darts. So to the pros and cons, pretty much, I like the way this is set up. I like how it's small. You know, I'm a relatively, I consider myself adult size. And that fits my hand very well. There's a lot of extra room down here, so it's not completely uncomfortable for adults. And then the priming handle, of course, it's very well made. This notch right here lets you get your hand in and prime it, so you don't have to be hugging this thing the whole time if you don't want to. The only thing I really don't like is just this overall bulge design on the sides. You can kind of see it there. I like very skinny, sleek design, but I mean, that's just me. I like everything looking normal. These bulges on the side, they serve no purpose. That's all just molded plastic. I've already been inside of this, and it is just molded plastic. I mean, overall, pretty positive review of the Nerf roughcut 2x4. So is it something I would recommend? Depends on how you use it. If you're going to use it inside, in a indoor Nerf war, you know, you're running through a house, or close firing, then absolutely, it's wonderful for that. The only issue with outdoor is once you shoot 4 times, you're out of darts. Unless you have a pocket of darts to fire. And you have 8 darts in your pocket, just happen to be there. Well, now you're out again. Now you're up the same creek you were before. Like I said in my last video, magazines. Magazines are the way to go. They're the easiest way to hold ammo. That's why real weapons use them. Real firearms. So, overall, all in all, I do like it. It is not outdoor Nerf war, practical indoor. Probably, if you want, you know, if you're gonna hide around a corner and get up close and personal, then yeah. My only negative here is being up close and personal to this. I have physically done this a couple times just to see. It does give off a sting, but that's going to be out of any gun. So please be careful with this, or really any Nerf gun, because the elite darts, they do have a nice, hold on, they do have a nice little squishy tip. Not as squishy as the old Streamlines used to be. Those were terribly accurate, and you couldn't hurt anyone with them unless you were literally in their face with it. So overall, that is the complete review of the roughcut 4x2. So overall, I do recommend it. I do. If you like the idea of a shotgun. Personally, if you want a shotgun idea, this is the most practical one to go with, because you have 8 barrels instead of, you know, the sledge fire that has ammo cartridges all the way in the back here, and, you know, the reloading process takes forever. This is easy. You can have it on slam fire and go through all 8, and then put it back on your sling, or if you're in a house, you could just throw it to the side. Nice and easy. So, I do recommend it. Thank you guys for watching. That is the complete review, and I will see you next time.